Welcome everybody. We are in session number two of our class. I'm just reminding you that we have recording of session one here, which we did on January 6th. Then we have notes, which I was making in Notepad, and then we have voice transcription, which is basically whatever I said. It's like 30 pages of my text, and it's a downloadable Microsoft Word file in case you might need one. Okay, so we go to the session 2, and hopefully you did the homework, which includes watching the video on user interface testing and a couple of things, along down below we have multiple bullets here. Each and every bullet represents certain thing to be done. And again, I'm creating notes for you here in Notepad. We just discussed the Calibri, and we said thank you very much to our volunteers. So now, guys, since some of you are sending money our way, so I just want to tell you that here is the link where it goes. But on the other hand, if you go to your class page, Portnoy.net, blah, 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 now it has the payment button. We didn't have it before. It is a kind of new thing. So if you go to that button, if you push it, so you will come to that same page, yeah, and you can pay with Google Pay. When you put it to the shopping cart, you will see more options. So you say proceed to checkout, yeah, and when you go to checkout, you will have certain options. So you can go with Zelle, you can do PayPal, you can do credit card. But guys, there are certain priorities here which I put into that file. And I'm saying if you are in US, so Zelle is the preferred way of paying. So in terms of how much they charge us, so Zelle comes with no charge at all. So whatever you pay comes to us. Swift means bank transfer. If you are outside of the United States, so you can do Swift. Just ask me for the data which comes with Swift. I will send it to you individually. PayPal is the next one, and the worst case is credit card and Google Pay. They charge us 3% if you are in US and 4% if you are outside of US, even in Canada. So money-wise, okay, it's much nicer if you use Zelle, okay, or Swift if you are outside of here. I mean, it's okay if you pay any other way, but if you have kind of choices, so I just want you to know which choices are more preferable to us. So we are reminding you that here is the school website, our program website, because we have campus, and that is the campus website. Here is the class page, which we are using for the first 3 sessions. We are in session 2, so for the first 3 sessions, we are using that page. And then you will use your dedicated class page with many, many things on it. Yeah, and it says here, class page for the first 3 trial sessions. That is the forum where we put our homework. And to register on that forum, it will ask you, give me, why are you here? Random question, why are you here? What brought you here? So that is the answer. And what else? So before we go to the quiz and maybe some bug reports, I wanted to emphasize why exactly, guys, we look at the user interface issues. And prior to that, I just want to tell you there are 3 things which give you the job. Okay, there are three major things. We do many different, we cover many different topics here, but in terms of skills, in terms of you being able to do something, to talk about that and so on, there are just three things. So test planning, which means you have to be able to write test cases. So if you can write test cases, guys, you know what's testing. If you know what's testing, you can write test cases. Bug reporting, obviously, if you find something, you should know how to report it. That part is very, very simple. Everybody can do it. No brainer. And then projects. We will do 2 projects in that class, and there is an optional project number 3, which you can take at additional cost if you want to. Okay, if you want more projects. But talking about the projects will be in your resume. So you can talk about testing, which means you have to learn how to write test cases. You should be able to do bug reporting. And then the project. That is the door opener, okay? That is how you get into the door. With many, many, many different things we learn on the top of that. So that is the key. Okay. Now, a year ago, you can see that February 4, 2021, we had a group where they asked me, Michael, can we look at the job market and see demand and supply in different areas? Demand is something you can do, guys, yourself. So you don't have to be very, very smart. I can show you though. But supply, how many people are there? Since I have recruiters access to DICE, and I did it in a class, and it didn't change much. And it's not about numbers, but it's about proportions. So you can look at different geographic areas, and probably most of you are covered here. So we have Silicon Valley, Los Angeles. Guys, tell me, in which geographic area you think, looking at that, in which geographic area the demand-supply ratio is the best? Demand-supply. The best. I mean, it doesn't change where you live, yeah? So, where you live, and but still. Any answers here, no? Texas. Austin. Oh yeah. That is like 1 to 16, yeah? 16, yeah. If you multiply that by 16, no? 16, no? Yeah. Pretty good one. Yeah, Austin. Pretty good. It's a booming place. But guys, let me tell you, if you look at the worst one, what is the worst one? Let me see, what is the worst one? Maybe what? Probably Chicago, Silicon Valley, yeah. Atlanta, Georgia. Let me tell you, Chicago, Atlanta, Georgia, Silicon Valley, and DC. DC. Guys, including DC, are huge and brilliant markets. So what I mean, even if it looks kind of relatively slow in terms of demand and supply ratio, they are huge and they are extremely favorable. So just, I'm not sure if it is of any help. Guys, do you like to see that picture? I mean, it's given to you in that file, so you can, yeah, DC looks worse. DC is very good. There is one thing in DC which makes it very different from other places. It has maybe half of the jobs are government jobs. And probably government job is not what you want to be your first job. So it is not exactly what we want you to do. So we want you to work on commercial projects. We want you to grow fast. Your salary is growing fast and all that stuff. So I would say that is. But again, if you do not want to work on a government project, so there are many other jobs there. Not to mention that in today's world, the very idea of local market, local job market, makes not that much sense anymore, because so far 99% of QA jobs are remote jobs, same as development. So, and after we deal nicely with the pandemic, so it's still there are going to be many jobs. I mean, huge percentage of jobs being remote. All the surveys of IT people show that they really do not want to go back to office. I mean, like 98% do not want to work out of office anymore. See what happens. So people adjusted to new reality and they do not want to go back to the older one. So just to let you know that local markets are not what they used to be. They are not limiting you anymore. Okay, guys, do you like it? I mean, do you think it's helpful, or you want me to delete that? Is it of interest to you? You like it? Oh, delete. It's okay. Okay. So most of the people say keep it. Okay, we'll keep it. We'll keep it. Just in case, guys. Just in case. Now, why do we include the user interface and usability testing in our program? I don't know anybody else who would do that. So we are, but remember, we pioneered the software testing in 1994, and at that time, it was a very easy key to the job market. I would say in 94, 95, 96, if you learned the rules of graphic user interface or user interface testing, it was enough to get a job. $20 per hour, yeah? 25. So it was enough. And but in today's world, what it does, so number one, you start reporting bugs from the day one. You get a job, and you need time to learn how that application works to be able to report functionality issues. But you don't have to know anything about how it works to report user interface issues. So, which makes a very good impression. You just started today and you reported 20 bugs today. So it helps you to make a good impression. It helps you to keep the job. Number two, few people in that world have any idea about the user interface rules. They have no idea about the guidelines, existing. So you bring certain expertise which other people don't have. So kind of unique contribution to the quality of the product. And it's easy to pick up. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be an engineer. You don't have to be a kind of strong power user. So you get some marketability and some instrument for keeping the job, for impressing people, and it costs you nothing, really. And while doing that, we still report bugs. We still develop some test cases in parallel. So I consider that to be a very helpful thing in understanding what software testing is about. Okay. Now, guys, okay, we are switching to the quiz, which you were supposed to do, and some of you did. Where is the quiz? Okay, let me refresh. So how many people did the quiz? 99. Out of 99, maybe 15 did it within the last half an hour, which is not the best way of doing it. Okay, let's still go there. Let's go there. And we are going around same set of questions and answers, interview questions and answers. So number one, user interface standards and guidelines are established by who? So we have Microsoft, 36%. Guys, Microsoft does it for Windows applications. So you cannot say 36%. I mean, Microsoft does it, 100% does it for specific type of application. So Windows applications, it's done by Microsoft, 100%. US government, 100% when it comes to web applications. So web is not owned by any private company or public company. So then if it is not owned by anybody, then Uncle Sam steps in and says, okay, I'll take care of it. So it is 100% taken care of by US government when it comes to web applications. Industry best practices will eventually be incorporated into the rules of in the guidelines. It doesn't happen in one day. First, those industry best practices come to existence, then they kind of proliferate, they become common, very common, and then they become part of the guidelines. So policies of your employer, what is the question? The question is where the guidelines and standards are coming from. So definitely your employer might impact that. Your employer might say, I don't care about user interface at all. Yeah, it's possible, but it's not a guideline, you know? But that is how your company operates. Yeah, they might do that. International conventions. Thanks God, no international conventions on user interface. And again, thank you very much, Stanford University. They have nothing on user interface. I understand 5 people respected Stanford University up to the level of kind of believing in their interests. They have no interest. Okay, so different organizations, different entities are responsible for guidelines for different type of application. So Microsoft for Windows, government, US government for web, Apple for Apple products, Google for Android products, and so on applications. Define regression testing. We actually talked about regression testing. I believe we did talk about it yesterday, but let's see what we've got. Making sure that software error was fixed. Yeah, just 2 people. It's wrong. That is wrong. It's called verification of fixed bugs in reality. So it is not regression testing. Making sure the software is not broken while fixing bugs. So we are saying it's not because of in which exactly way we modified the software. It could be fixing bugs. It could be developing further the application. So it is not about fixing bugs. Making sure that previously fixed bugs are not back in new release. There is a testing like that. It's called testing for returning bugs. It's kind of rare one, but it exists. Yeah, because in certain situations, bugs have tendency to come back after being fixed in a while. Let's say you fix them today and it comes back in a week or 2 weeks. So there are things like that, but it's not regression testing. And then we have 83%, making sure no new error were introduced while making changes to the code. Whatever changes, good. Retesting fixed bug reports by executing steps to reproduce. Well, that is pretty much how you make sure the bug is fixed, yeah? But it's not regression testing. Good. So making sure, regression testing, making sure that no new errors were introduced while making changes to the code. We have 2 people commenting here. Let's take a look. Partial retesting of a modified yeah, that is copy-pasted stuff, guys. We do not like copy-paste. We want you to memorize things and deliver them off the top of your head, not by copy-pasting anything. What do you prefer, white or black box testing? That is the kind of positioning type of a question. It's very common for an interview, by the way. So they want to understand what is your interest. So if you say, I want to do white box testing, it means 2 things. First, you are not interested in black box. You have to understand, guys, if you say white box testing, it means you are not interested in black box testing. They will not consider you for black box testing position anymore. If you want to do white box testing, then the question is, are you qualified? Do you have skills, necessary skills, which you actually don't have? I mean, it takes lots of time, and effort, and not everybody can do white box testing. So if you cannot do white box testing, but you tell them, I want to do white box testing, most likely that opportunity doesn't exist anymore. So when you are answering a question like that, you want to keep all the doors open. All the doors open. If you want, if you have to shut one door here, you shut the white box testing door, because you pretend to get the black box testing position. So white box is kind of in the skies, and black box testing is here, just in front of you. But ideally, you would try to keep all the doors open, and you are saying, as most of you chosen here, I want to do black box, but I would like to get involved in the white box testing as well. I mean, if there is an opportunity, sign me in. We have another one which says black box, which is correct, but it is what I'm trained to do. It's a little bit miserable. It means I would rather do something more glorious. I'm not just capable. There is some negative connotation here. Okay, so black box, but we keep the second door open too. But in case you have an opportunity, I will really appreciate the opportunity to get into the white box testing eventually. We have 7 comments here. Okay, I haven't tested much yet, so I don't know. Miserable. You are saying I'm nobody. You don't want to be nobody. Still undecided, not enough knowledge. Again, you don't know what you want. You don't know who you are. You are saying I don't know enough to do it, and both ways, as far as it allows you to see the issue from consumer points of view, developer skill. The question is, what do you prefer? I mean, if you have a choice of doing one or another one, which one would you choose? That is the question. So you have to choose. I haven't done any, but I would love to master both. I haven't done any. I don't know. I'm open. I can learn. I can take a class in City College. It's all miserable. You do not want to look miserable. If there is an opportunity, I would like to get involved in automation. There was no question about automation. The question was black or white. Automation could be done in a black box way. If you use tools such as Selenium WebDriver, for example, that stuff is on the black box side. But you are not answering the question, which is not good at all. I'm looking for black box position, but I would like to get involved in the white box testing as well. Eventually, blah, blah, blah. Both is not an answer. The question is which one, which out of 2, yeah? Okay, what is quality? Yeah, I've got that question myself, guys, when I was going to an interview. So what's quality, God? And okay, so there is a story to that question. Quality is to make sure the application is meeting the requirements. Okay, guys, I did teach you here in that class that quality has 2 different perspectives. If you look at it from user perspective, from customer perspective, or you look at it from quality assurance perspective. So that one, quality is to make sure the application is meeting the requirement. And by the way, there was nothing about software quality. There was nothing about application quality. So why are you talking about application at all? So, and you are bringing so first of all, you are not answering exactly that question. Secondly, you are answering that question from the position of someone working in QA. But we discussed last time that it's much better to beat the competition rather than coming with a good answer. So better answer is better than just an answer, just correct answer. So if you bring both perspectives, so consumer perspective and QA perspective, that answer will be much more complete, and it will make you much more different. I mean, really, it will make you special compared to other people applying for the same position. Customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is consumer perspective, subjective term. Okay. Quality is customer satisfaction, but from QA perspective, it's how close the actual product is to intended product. Yes. So that is the answer we pretty much want you to come with. We want you to come with both, with two perspectives, because we want you to beat the competition. We want you to make an impression of being the real best, okay? So do not resist, guys. Learn what we teach you, and you're going to be the best. Yeah. Unfortunately, most of you are staying on one side or another side, and not really. You're not making me happy with that answer here. Okay. Developers test their code. What software testers are needed for? And it looks like we have something. Yeah, developers test their code. What software testers are needed for? So guys, regression testing. Developers have no time for regression. It doesn't mean they don't do it at all. They might do a little bit. But if we talk about solid regression testing, comprehensive regression testing, that is on you. If you don't do it, nobody will do it. Okay, that is why testers need it. So developers test their code, no, for sure. They do test their code. But regression testing is something they just have no resources to do regression testing. Negative testing, same thing. They do not have resources. Unless you do negative testing, nobody does negative testing. And then testers are looking at bigger picture. They look at the software from consumer perspective. So they do not look at this module or that module, because developers develop certain units of code. As a developer, I know how that unit is working, how people are going to use that software, so my units are working. But tester is looking at a much bigger picture, much broader picture. That is why, that is what testers do, which developers do not do. Let's see what you answered, guys. Testers are needed during an application development to ensure that there are no bugs or other issues. It is very good to understand the question, because if you do not understand the question, so it means, I mean, it's not exactly how you get a job, okay? The question was not what testers do. The question was why testers are needed if developers test their code anyway. That is the question. Nobody is asking you what testers do. Developers do lots of testing. Now, why we need someone else who does testing? So here, you just didn't answer the question at all. Okay. It wasn't a big deal of a question, actually. Perform regression and negative to contribute developers with testing. I don't know what that part means. At least regression and negative, okay. Needed because they are establishing QA organization, test planning, bug tracking, bug reporting. That is true. That is true. But that is primarily about software testing department. So why do we need software testing department? Why do we need software testing organization? That organization is needed to create certain processes. Yeah? But when we compare developer to a tester, so why do we need a tester if developer does the testing? So one person is testing, another person is testing. So we just wanted to emphasize specific types of testing. So I'm not saying your answer is dead wrong, no, but it is an answer to different question. That is the answer to the question, why do we have QA department versus what is different in testing done by testers versus testing done by developers, which is basically the question. Testers do regression testing, negative testing, looking at bigger functional areas. Okay, good. Developers do partial testing. They don't spend their time to testing. They do spend huge time to testing to test. More time need to go black box testing, and this job for software testers doesn't answer the question the way we wanted you to answer that question. So we do not really need your intuitive kind of contribution. We need you to learn what we teach. And I would say there is a huge difference between your intuitive, based on pretty much nothing, vision of things, versus learning from people who have been doing that for 3 decades. Testers are more focused on different types of testing from user perspective, negative for regression. Negative and regression testing are not necessarily done from user perspective. So basically what you just said, that negative and regression testing are black box testing done from user perspective. It is not true. It is not true. So you entered a certain perspective here which doesn't belong here, and you have no reason to do that. Why are you making those assumptions? Testers do most of the negative testing. Okay. Most of the regression testing. Test software application at system level. You can say that. Okay, guys, keep going. So you understand where we are. What is gray box testing? So we have white box testing, we have gray box testing, and we have white box, black box, and gray box. If we go to the forum where we have interview questions answered in a kind of elaborated way, let's see what it says about gray box. It has black box, gray box. Yes, let's go there. So it says, that is the most elaborated definition. It says gray box testing is using structural, design, and environment information, complete or incomplete, to expand or focus black box testing and to enhance testing productivity by using appropriate methods and tools. So what you learn from that stuff is, at minimum, that gray box testing is an extension of black box testing. Okay, so when you do black box testing, if you get certain tools which allow you to go beyond the user interface, that is how you do gray box testing. So if you have certain tools, or you are using certain methods, for example, you might write a simple program, piece of code, or maybe SQL statement. So gray box testing is an extension of black box testing. Don't ever say it is a combination of black and white. Don't ever say that. I've seen that on Wikipedia. It is dead wrong. Anytime you go to the code, it is white box testing. See what I mean? It is a white box testing. You cannot combine anything. Using methods, tools is specific in certain languages. You cannot just somehow, with no additional resources, extend black box testing to white box testing. You need something extra, programming languages, certain tools, and so on. A lot of web testing is done in gray box area. It's true. When you test, guys, web applications, lots of testing will be done in the gray box testing area. We have a project here, which you will do with Jana, and so you will use, you will do some REST API testing. You will do lots of nice things about that stuff. Let me see if we have any anything on gray box now. Oh yeah, we have in your notepad. So extension of black box testing, yes. Some extra knowledge is needed, yes. A lot or most of the web testing is gray box testing. Tools or programming languages will be used. And then we have 3 examples. I can actually move them a little bit. Yeah. We have 3 examples. Example number 1. You write and execute SQL statements. So a SQL statement is a structured query language. Structured query language, the language you use to send a query to the database. And then database returns you something which you asked to return. So you write and execute that SQL statement against the database to validate the data integrity. For example, you register at Amazon.com. And while registering, you provided certain information, your first name and last name, your email, your, I don't know, social security number, your credit card number, God knows, many types of information. And that information is stored somewhere in a record, database record. So what you do, you write a SQL statement, and you get out of the database, it comes to you, what was actually saved. So you know what was supposed to be saved when you enter that, but God knows what was actually saved. I mean, there is no guarantee what actually saved is exactly what should be saved. So that is called testing or validating data integrity. So is the data, in place, not corrupted, not modified? So that is an example of gray box testing. So you do not use user interface on one hand. On the other hand, you do not deal with any source code of the application. So it is in between. It's in between black and there is nothing with white box testing there. I mean, you don't touch the code, but you have certain tools. You have SQL statement, SQL as a language. Then you have certain tool in which you write and execute the SQL statement and so on. And you have some knowledge, partial or complete, of how the data is structured, where it is available, and so on. Example number 2, analyzing or parsing log files. Imagine when you buy a book on Amazon, there are 3 servers. Server is basically a computer. You can think about it as a computer. There are 3 computers, 3 servers, which record certain data. So web server, application server, database server. We will talk more about that when it comes to testing web applications, but so far you just have to realize that there are 3 computers running 3 different, or maybe more than 3 applications, and whatever happens gets recorded in a log file. So then, since you know what is supposed to be recorded, so now you can write, you can open the file and just search, but the log files are huge. I mean, they might have millions of lines. So instead, you can write a short program, for example, in C# and Perl, whatever language you know. So it will go through the entire files and find exactly what you want to find there. For example, that is gray box testing. REST API testing with Postman, that is what you're going to do in our class. Postman is a tool. There is some data exchange between web server and your browser. So some information goes back and forth, and Postman allows us to see what exactly goes there, and what comes back. And that is another example of gray box testing. Okay, guys, tell me if you might not have the complete idea of what's gray box testing, but tell me if you have some idea at least. Some idea. So it is not black box, it is not white box. It is an extension of black box. It is never white box. No idea is too complicated. You do not. Very clear. Some people say it's clear, some people. Okay. Some testing, guys, some testing has nothing to do with user interface. But at the same time, you don't have to go to the source code. So there are 3 types of testing. So one, black box, you just pretend to be a user. White box, you work pretty much as a developer, you work with the source code. And there is some area which is neither one. So you don't have the interface to use, and you don't have to go to source code. You just use some knowledge, maybe some protocols, maybe some SQL, maybe some programming and so on. Methods you can use to debug software and evaluate vulnerability. What are you talking about? I mean, really, it is not answering my question at all. Debug, so you don't have to debug software. No way. I mean, debugging software will be clearly the white box testing. There is no gray box testing there. If black box testing is without using source code, that is the definition of black box testing. So black box testing is about not dealing with the code at all. Would all testing not involving source code can be considered a gray box? No. Black box testing has nothing to do with source code, but it is still black box testing, not gray box testing. In gray box testing, you do not work with user interface. I mean, okay, guys, API means it's an abbreviation standing for Application Programming Interface. You will come to that concept, guys. We have couple of places in our course where we deal with APIs closely. It's going to be in our projects. It's going to be in test automation part of the class. So you will deal a lot with API. Okay. I'm just giving you certain examples which you might better understand later on. But at least we discussed that. I kind of made some preliminary notes. Yeah. Okay. We keep going. No. Here. So gray box testing. What are you saying? Using the complete incomplete information to expand or focus black box testing to enhance testing productivity. Yeah, that is the copy-paste stuff. I told you I do not like copy-paste. Extension of black box testing when certain tools are used to test software. Okay. Gray box testing is using design, environmental, functional information about software complete and incomplete. Again, as close it is to the copy-paste stuff, so it is not what I want. I mean, I really want you to talk about it in your own words, but at least if you are using our definitions, at least do not copy-paste. Do it, learn it, memorize it, but no copy-paste. Okay, keep going. What are the common stages of software development lifecycle? See, last time the question was, what is the software development lifecycle? And we said it is a conceptual model used in project management, where a software development process is kind of considered in stages. Yeah, in stages. Now, and that one is about waterfall, yeah, software development lifecycle. So agile is slightly different. So what are the common stages? Now the question is not what is software development lifecycle, but what are the common stages of software development lifecycle? And again, common doesn't mean they are everywhere, and it doesn't mean that stages are limited to the common stages, but something most common, most typical, which exists in many situations. So what we have: planning, analysis, design, implementation. Implementation means coding, programming, testing, and maintenance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Guys, I like it. I mean, it's a good one. What do we have in our notes here? What are the common stages? Yeah, waterfall model: analysis, requirements, design, coding, testing, maintenance. Guys, pretty much same thing. Yeah. In waterfall model, the most common stages are analysis, design, development, okay, analysis, requirement, architecture. Yeah, architecture is another word for design. Yeah, implementation is another word for coding. Documentation. Documentation, I wouldn't say documentation is a common stage in today's world. Used to be, yeah. Okay. So guys, typical problems in software requirements are, and we actually answer that question, but let's see what you are saying. Okay, we give you choices. Ambiguity, there are 3 actually. Ambiguity is number 1. So requirements could be ambiguous, incomplete. Yeah, that is the most popular one. Incomplete. Ambiguous means you might interpret that in multiple ways, not uniquely identifying the thing. So there is no uniqueness. You might kind of have different interpretations of that. Contradictory, 67. Overall, guys, I would say the 3 most popular here are the correct ones. So software requirements could be ambiguous, incomplete, and contradictory. So that is what software requirements might be in terms of what kind of problems might be there. So when you look at my suggestion to you is, guys, when you look at requirements, do not ask yourself, is it possible that there is some ambiguity or some incompleteness or maybe some contradictory stuff here? It is there. All 3 are there, guaranteed. That is what you have to understand as a mature tester. Okay. As someone who is naive, you might say, what if, what if it's so ideal because humans are so ideal, they are created by the God, not really, guys. So we are not ideal, we make mistakes, we do not pay attention to certain things, and ambiguity, incompleteness, and contradictory requirement, they are all 3 are there. You will find them if you pay attention. Okay, good. What do you have here? Let me see. Oh no. What do you have? Oh, actually, you did. Yeah, you did pretty much the right thing. Yeah. Okay. Who is better tester? Yeah. Who is better tester? The one who submits more bug reports, the one who has more bugs fixed. So actually 2 most popular ones. Better tester. Okay. Now the question is, how do we know who is the better tester? How do we decide? What are the criteria? And if you say, okay, the one who impacts the quality of the product more is the better tester. Okay, who has stronger impact? So the impact doesn't come from bug being reported. Impact comes from bug being fixed. So the someone who has more bugs fixed has so created more impact. And rather than someone who just reported bugs and nobody cares about what he reports and nobody wants to fix it, and basically it's a waste of time. And it's not just waste of his time, but he is also distracting other people from their work to look at his no value bug reports. Okay, so and that is pretty much what you did, so 71%, good. What is ad hoc testing? I mean, if you come with an assumption, and that assumption is all bug reports are equal in terms of importance, in terms of quality, in terms of all the aspects of life. Yeah. If all the bug reports are equal, then whoever reports more bugs has more impact. And the probability of the bug report being fixed doesn't depend on anything. I mean, they all have same probability of being fixed. So if you make all those assumptions, so then it's just about quantity of bug reports. But if you admit that bug reports are different in their quality, in their severity, in their impact on the quality of the product overall, in how difficult or how easy it is to find that bug, and so on. So since bug reports are different, so we are saying, okay, are they fixed or not? What is ad hoc testing? Okay. Let's see what you are saying. The most popular one is 53%. Simplified form of exploratory testing. It is true. It is true. It is true. Okay, let's talk about ad hoc testing. Go to your go to your notepad file. Exploratory testing. So we are comparing exploratory testing and ad hoc testing. So we know that ad hoc is a subset, is a simplified form of exploratory. So exploratory testing, the name speaks for itself. So we are learning, we are trying to get better idea of what that software is about. It's not that much about finding bugs, but it is more about learning. So it has 3 stages. Stage 1, we are planning. And again, it is a very simplified form of planning. Because what is this? Let's click on that. Okay. Then you actually click. And then something happens. For example, it crashes. You say, look at that. So you learned something. So we have 3 stages, very simple ones, no sophistication at all, and they are going one by one. They are not happening at the same time. They're one by one. You plan first, you execute after, and you learn thereafter. Now, ad hoc is slightly different. It has all 3 stages, but now they are happening at the same time. So you plan, you execute, and you learn at the same time. It used to be called monkey testing because it kind of resembles the behavior of a monkey. But guys, it is just resembling, because monkey cannot plan, monkey cannot learn, monkey just executes. Okay. So it used to be called monkey testing as a slang term for many years, but now, guys, you don't do that, because now monkey testing, and you're gonna learn that, is a legitimate name for some mobile application testing. So monkey testing is not just a slang, it's a term now. So don't call ad hoc testing monkey testing. But it looks very chaotic, looks like there is no meaning in what this person is doing. Boom, 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 boom. Energizer bunny, boom, 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 boom. But with exploratory testing, people find lots of bugs, and amazingly, if I go with you to Amazon.com, just try Amazon.com, and I type. We have to take books, yeah. Devices. Do we have books? Books. Okay, we have books, and we say exploratory testing, software testing. Okay, exploratory software testing. Amazingly, guys, we have books on that stuff. Guide to Advanced, that is sponsored. Okay, look at that. Exploratory software testing. And by the way, Mr. Whitaker is a big name in software testing. He is local here. At least he used to be local here to Silicon Valley. I did go to his events a couple of times. Amazing gentleman. What else? I don't know the Chinese stuff. Maybe more. Yeah. Okay. Explore it. Reduce risk and increase confidence with exploratory testing. Another one, 2013. Maybe more. I don't know. So my point is, guys, there are books on exploratory testing. It is not something which is obvious, intuitive, ineffective, makes no sense, and this and that. It is a very kind of interesting concept. Simplified type of exploratory testing in which test planning, execution happening at the same time. The main purpose is to explore. Okay, I like that one. Random, no planning. It is not true. There is some planning. It is happening at the same time, as execution and learning, but it's not that much random. You cannot call it random, completely random. It's not. It is not. Looks like, yeah, from outside it looks like, but it is not. Random testing without documentation. Documentation, guys, why are you even talking about documentation here? You might have documentation and still do exploratory testing, plan, execute, learn, random use of software functionality, not really. Simplified form of exploratory testing where planning, executing, learning are happening at the same time. Brilliant. Okay. Planning, learning, executing happens at the same time. Okay, guys. You're okay. You are okay. Let me see if we have anything in our notepad which we didn't touch today. Application under test. It's an abbreviation. Typical, very common abbreviation. AUT, application under test. Something you test. Okay, test their code. Yeah, so far we covered pretty much what's in our file. And we still have some time, guys. You have choices. You can say it's enough for today because we did it for an hour, or you can say, hey, let's go and do some testing. Let's write some bug reports. It's up to you. More. Okay. More for the money. Yeah. No money. Okay. Let's work. Go over the bugs. Okay. Let's do it this way. Last time we did it, guys, we wrote some bug reports here. Yeah. Some bug reports for Energy Telecom. Then we were coming with some rules of bug reporting. Okay, I will remove that. Happy Path, I explained what Happy Path. Job resume bullets for today's activities. Okay, I'll keep it. So We will do some bug reports. Okay, let's see what we've done before, and that is the application we test. Yeah, Energy Telecom. Here is the application which you practice with. You've watched the webinar on user interface issues, and we have some lists, some checklists, the most common frequently happening user interface problems, like 5 or 6 of those. And we asked you to deal with that form, focusing on user interface issues, not functionality. It does have functionality problems, but we said don't pay attention to functionality, just focus on user interface. And let's see what we've done last time, so we can continue starting there. Where is that? Yeah. So last time we said, number one, in Search My Invoices section, all the labels should have a colon at the end. Yeah, the contact information part of the page, it says first name, last name, street address, city, state, zip, email, phone. Honestly, Energy Telecom, it was about Energy Telecom. Wait a second. Yeah. Search my no, it is not Energy Telecom, guys. No. I'm sorry. It is not. That one bug reports. That one is Tolia. I'm sorry. Tolia. Okay, let's go to Tolia. Tolia. Okay, we have two actually. Let's go to Tolia. Tolia is going to be Tolia Portnov.com, I believe, something like that. Yeah. So that is the page. Can you imagine, guys, if you get to that team for an interview, they still give people that page. It is an actual page given to people who come to Oracle for an interview. Specifically the Tolia team of Oracle. Oracle purchased that company at some point. So, and it says in the Search My Invoices section, Search My Invoices, we have labels, invoice number, customer, purchase order, and from amount label does have colon here. Can you see? It does have colon, but the rule of the game is, and you've learned that if you watched the webinar for session 2, and the rule of the game is each label should end up with the colon. So you might report that problem from another perspective. You might say inconsistency. Inconsistency is a big word. It means they are not consistent. They are not done in the same style. Yeah. So you might say inconsistency. Either remove that colon from here or give a colon to all the labels. You would do that if you do not know the rules of user interface. But you do know the rule. And the rule says each label should come with a colon. So that is why we have that bug report. It says, in Search My Invoices, yeah, it's called Search My Invoices. Good. In Search My Invoices, and I put it in double quotes, which means it's not just words, it's a name of the control, name of a certain section, button, and so on. In Search My Invoices section, all the labels should have a colon at the end. So basically, that bug report is of type, it's not a problem bug report, it's a solution bug report. It's a solution bug report. So rule of bug reporting, okay. Bug report is either either solution or problem type. So both are fine. I mean, There is nothing wrong in solution bug report or problem bug report. The thing is, if you can make it a solution, it is more valuable. So you save time to developer who doesn't have to research it anymore. But if you are not sure, it is a solution. There is a solution. I mean, unless you are 100% sure, write a problem bug report. So problem bug report will be kind of inconsistency. So you decide. But I'm just telling you there is some inconsistency. So section should have a colon. So that is a solution. Do it this way. Okay. Incorrect number of results per page. 11 instead of 10 as per results per page list box. So we have results per page here. It says 10. So give me 10 results per page. And in reality, it has 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the bug report says we have 11 instead of 10. Good. Number 3, inconsistency in date format. Invoice date field is here. Invoice date field. Okay. Invoice date field 6/5/2011 versus invoice date column 22 August 2011 invoice date column. Okay, look at that. Compare this format and that format. So here the month comes in letters. Then we have dash and dash to separate day, month, and year. And here we have slash to separate day, month, and year. So they are not consistent. Both formats are valid formats. They are just not consistent. Guys, so far, guys, do you understand the complaint? Do you understand what is the problem? Okay, some people are complaining that something is not clear. Guys, whatever is not clear, ask me after the class. If it is something bigger, if it is a small thing, just ask me right now and I will tell you. You are not supposed to be perfectly clear, 100% clear, you know, from the very first minute of the class. It comes with some exercise. You might watch that video another time, and it's okay. Again, there is nothing complicated here. We might be going too fast, maybe, and we have a small crowd here. How big is the crowd? The crowd is over 200 people, so 218 at the moment. So we are all having different kind of capacity in learning of new information. But again, you have your own path. You don't have to be doing it with the speed of someone else, really. Most of the study happens when you are not in the class. So that is how it works. And we are here to help, guys. Whatever specific question you might have, just ask us. Okay. Go through energy telecom, please. Hey, we have 2 of those. We will, okay, let's switch to energy telecom in 10 minutes, okay? Will we use Jira to write bug report? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. When it comes to the projects, you will use Jira. Absolutely. Okay, and there was one more here. First cell in status column, replace, rejected, misspelled. Okay, rejected is misspelled. Replace, yeah, that one. First column, yeah, first cell in invoice. Oh no, I'm sorry, rejected. There are 2 places where it is misspelled. So one is here, rejected, and another one is here in the name of the column. Okay, let me see, guys, what you've done. in the forum. So we have, I'm sorry. Okay, we go to online. That is where you do your homework. We have Energy Telecom project, and actually I do not see anybody working with Orange. Interesting. Okay, you didn't do anything with Orange. Okay, let's switch to Energy Telecom. Energy Telecom, here is your class. Okay, so Energy Telecom, let's go back. Yeah, that is Energy Telecom. And then let me go here, bug report story. Okay, copy. Bug reports. Energy Telecom. Okay, we have half an hour. Energy Telecom. So you didn't do much with Tole. Okay. Tole is simpler. It's all about user interface. Okay. Keep going. Okay. So what did you report? I will go, guys, one by one, and I will take one bug report for one person. Yeah. So we will not go through all bug reports of the first one 3 days ago. Okay. Zip menu item accepts letters versus accepting only digits. Okay, let's take that one. Okay, guys, anything? No. When we look at the zip menu item, just 3 words, zip menu item. Anything you want to say? Do we have zip menu item? Is there a menu item here called zip? It is not a menu item, guys. We do not have menu items. We do not have any menu on that page. Menu item will be here. When I go to, let's say, file, okay, those are menu items. New window, open, but those are menu items. If you go to portnow.com, Portnow, let's say .net, okay, portnow.net, our program page, and it comes with, let's say, community, and then we have menu items, contact us menu item, videos menu item, testimonials menu item. We have menu items here, but we do not have any menu on the Energy Telecom page. There's just no menus. Zip is the text field, yeah. Zip, not just field, zip field, okay. So what we like is that zip is in double quotes. It says, okay, means specific control on the screen, accepts letters, yeah, but you're saying what it does. Bug report is pointing to the conflict. So something which happens instead of something which should happen. Yeah. So the zip field accepts letters instead, yeah, instead of being digits only. Yeah? Digits only. So I am rephrasing a little bit. Zip field accepts letters instead of being digits only. File, save. Guys, tell me, is that a solution bug report or is it a problem bug report? Is it a solution bug report or problem bug report? solution or problem? Problem. Okay, you can say it's a problem. In reality, guys, what you said is make it digit only. Make sure it's digit only. So basically, it is more about solutions than a problem. I mean, you can interpret that in different ways. It looks like a problem, but in reality, it is about solution. Solution is provided here. Okay, let's go to the next one. See, it's all relative. No default input focus. Guys, default input focus is okay if you have something which fits to your screen. If there is a web page and God knows where that end of that page, you do not see that page, default input focus makes no sense. It should be completely on your screen so you understand what's going to happen if you actually input focus. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I was thinking about default button. I apologize. No default input focus. Default input focus would help. See what happens. We just let me refresh. I refresh I start typing, and it doesn't type at all. So, and I should have to click here to give input focus to that field, and then, so default input focus would help. I apologize. So I was talking about default button. Yeah, I like it. So let's take it from here. No default input focus. Now the question is, do you have any suggestion or any kind of solution like stuff for that? So you can say no. Yeah, you can say no default input focus on the page. Yeah, on the page, and you might say here, what is the name? I'm sorry. What is the name? First name. Okay, first name. First name. First name field might be a good candidate. So you're not exactly saying do it this way, but you're saying look at it, maybe, yeah, which is nice. So I'm coming with a proposal here, so which might make the developer's life easier, or at least there is something to consider here. Okay, now guys, you probably remember that when we talk about software testing, and I will go to the previous session here. When we talked about software testing, no, what is it? No, I'm sorry. No, it's September 6th. No, online call. I'm sorry. Boom. Yeah. When we go to the previous session, we looked at what is software testing. You remember? Is it here? No. We talked that software testing is about verification, validation, and error detection. Maybe not on that page. Verification, validation, error detection. Verification means we make sure that the requirement is properly implemented. Validation means we are saying that the requirement makes sense. Now, coming back to that bug report, which we just did, no default input focus on the page. Can I say it is kind of about validation? There is no requirement which says make it, put it there. Yeah, there are user interface rules which are not exactly product requirements. What do you think? I mean, does it make sense to say that default input focus, requiring the default input focus, is more about validation, looking at the kind of requirements, not saying anything, rather than implementation of requirements. What do you think? Validation. Again, guys, it is open to interpretation. I'm just trying to kind of involve you in that kind of thinking process. No default input focus on the page. So first name field might be a good candidate to accept default input focus. So you open the page and it's here. You start typing and it goes to the first name. Okay, good. Keep going. Button clear inactive. Displays pop-up error after tap. Oh God. Oh God. Okay. Interesting. So button clear. I would still put double quotes here. Button clear. What do you mean inactive? Let's go to the bottom. So button clear is perfectly fine. So I can push the button actually. So, and there is no term active when you talk about the button or user interface element. User interface element could be disabled or enabled. If it is disabled, I cannot use it. But that one is not disabled. I can click here. Oh God, go back. I can click here. So they are nothing is disabled here. Number one. What did you want to say? I mean, really, when you said it is disabled, it is inactive. What do you mean? It is perfectly active, even though we do not use the word active toward buttons. So, displays pop-up error after tap. So, first of all, tap is something you do on your mobile device. In Windows applications, in web applications, there is no tap. I mean, it is specific to mobile applications. Number one. So then displays pop-up error. Okay. Okay, guys, let's talk about that stuff now. Errors. Or let's say error. Okay, errors. Let's say messages. Okay, let's say messages. So we have something which is error message, something which is warning message, warning message. What else? Error, warning. I don't know. Let's see if there is more coming. So what happens when you clear the button, when you push the button clear, okay, clear, then error message comes. Error message comes. And when you, why in the world you call it pop-up, I don't know. I mean, some error message. Okay, you can say that error message pops up, but it is not a pop-up message. So pop-up message is a specific type of window. So there is some message, okay, and when you look at those messages, they might be specifically warning messages. Okay, let's put it that way. Warning messages could be error messages, could be confusing, or in terms of bug reporting, confusing or misleading. So you understand the difference. So confusing means you have no idea what it says. misleading means it asks you to do something which makes no sense, which is not going to bring you to the solution or something like that. So we have, definitely what we have here is an error message. Okay. And that error message is, I would say it is both. It is misleading and it is confusing. It says here, invalid data request. God knows, what does it mean? I mean, what's invalid errors 17? God, how many more errors they have for me? I mean, it's really confusing. And then there is a part which is misleading. Call technical support or restart your computer. It's totally misleading stuff. So, how I would rewrite that bug report? I would say, okay, let's say push button clear. Okay, let's say push. You do not click buttons, you push buttons. So even if you click on the button, so that is how you push them. Okay. Now you click on a pixel on your screen, and if button is behind the pixel where you click on, so then you push the button. So push button clear. Then what happens? Then misleading, both confusing, okay, message pops up. Yeah, you want something popping up. Okay, nothing is cleared. Okay, so that is how I would write that specific bug report. So guys, just making sure you understand what I'm doing, you understand the logic behind my thinking. Email field doesn't allow special. Look, that is not the place where you write bug reports. Okay, so you had to write bug reports to that file, to that forum topic. You are with me. Okay, guys, good. Again, it is simple. And remember, you have to know three things: how to write test cases, how to write bug reports, and how to talk about the project. And all that is coming. And I would say 2 months from now, guys, technically speaking, you can ask for a resume and go to the job market in parallel with finishing the class. So we really support that. So the sooner you go to the job market, the sooner you get a job. That is my vision of that. Okay, so I would like you to see you on the market rather than just being in the class. So going to the market, going to the class, that is the kind of ideal way. What the hell is that? Okay. Enter numbers in all required field. It's like steps. Enter numbers in all required fields. Enter specific spec symbols in all required fields. Enter hieroglyphs. Possible to inject JavaScript injection. You are not within the guidelines which we have. You didn't even look at the bug reports reported by other people, and so you basically fall out of the kind of the path we go. The button submit can recognize only 3 wrong inputs. I have no idea what you just said. The box buttons do not recognize anything. Button has no function of recognizing. Okay, buttons cannot. Text box of text box of button submit and clear has different sizes. Okay, different sizes. Let's take a look. Yes, if you look at submit and clear, obviously the submit button, the word submit has larger characters. At the same time, the size of the submit button and the size of the clear button are different. So I would say, I will put it this way. We are here, yeah? Bug reports for Energy Telecom. I would say number four, submit and clear buttons are not consistent in font size and dimensions. Okay. Okay, keep going. State box got incorrect BC state. Okay, let's try that one. Number 5. So what is the nature of the problem? State is the list box here. Yeah, state is the list box. It has many states, and some of them are not United States states. So, for example, the one mentioned here, which is what? BC, yeah. BC, let's see, British Columbia. We have, yeah, British Columbia, which doesn't belong there. So how would we put that in words? I would do it in a stronger kind of format as a solution. State list box, yeah, state list box. I would say remove BC item. Remove BC item. That's all I want. I mean, be straightforward. So you want to remove it. You know it doesn't belong there. So you are coming with a solution bug report. Very straightforward. So bug report is not an essay. Okay, it's just straightforward. Okay. State drop-down menu has no option for Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is not a state of the United States. Sorry to say that, but it is not. Indiana, yeah, Indiana is misspelled. Okay. Let's deal with that one. So number 6, state see, drop down is still drop down menu. Oh no, it is not a menu. I mean, it is yeah, that stuff is bad. It's not a menu. It's a list box. Number 1. It might be drop down, it might be of fixed dimensions. It really, that drop downness of that thing really makes no difference. So I'm saying again, list box, state list box. Okay. replace. Again, very strong verbiage. Replace. No. Ind with Indiana. Okay. Again, we don't have to explain anything. We are coming with a very simple, very obvious kind of request. And that's it. So guys, so far, guys, are you with me? Again, you are looking at how I do the bugs, and I do not really think much. It's my skill, you know. It is internalized. I don't even think how I do the bug report. It just happens. When I discuss the bug, when I explain the bug to you, I already do that in a bug report language, you know, because that is my natural language of explaining what is the bug report about. British Columbia has a zip in a combination of letter and numbers. British Columbia is not there. I mean, it is not supposed to be a Canadian state. It is all for US states. Okay. We have requirements for that stuff, and you will see them later on in future classes. So we will come back to that application at some point. Okay. Do we have to write this report on forum or Bugzilla? Guys, Bugzilla is just kind of an example, something entertaining stuff. So I will probably remove it since it's not working reliably, because it works to some people, it doesn't work to other people. I will remove it completely. I mean, there is no value in Bugzilla at that point, and you will use Jira anyway eventually. So. And I can tell you, in today's world, not many companies use Bugzilla anymore, because everybody is on Jira nowadays. So just kind of a toy to play with. So we don't care about Bugzilla at all. It is not something which we really need. Why was submitting an assignment in the school forum so problematic? Returned an error. Is there a secret? You have to register first, and I have to approve your account second. And you, Natalia, registered on that forum kind of probably today. Yeah, you had 3-4 days to do that. You just did it today. Okay. If I approve your account, and the only problem with submission might be if you created, you write your text in Microsoft Word or in other word processor, and then you copy paste to the forum. Forum doesn't like it. If you want to copy paste first to Notepad, and then from Notepad it will accept it. So that is just how that application works. We have no kind of leverage on that. Keep going, yeah. So tab order is incorrect, is not correct. After first name input, tab goes to referred by instead of last name. Okay, I like that. It's almost perfect, guys. I'm not sure if you recognize that, but that bug report is almost perfect. Number 7. Tab order. A tab order is not correct. I'll say tab order. Tab order. Let's say problem. From, yeah, from, lowercase, from first name field, not input. From first name field, tab order, it goes the tab order, goes to referred by instead of last name, say again, field. Perfect. I won't make it all uppercase here. I won't make it all uppercase, but it's almost perfect. And here, guys, we have to talk about the rule of 3 W's. Rule of 3 W's is about what makes bug report good enough bug report. Good enough bug report. Bug report. So 1 W is for what happened. It answers the question what happened. Another W answers the question where it happened. And third W is for under which circumstances it happened. Since we talk about primarily user interface issues, then circumstances are not important at the moment because it's always it's in front of you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to create circumstances. It's always there. So what happens and where it happens? The order is not important. So you might start with what happened. Something is missing, okay? Or you can say where exactly it happened. You are saying contact session, blah, blah, blah is missing. Okay? Or you might say with circumstances. When user goes from home to work, so then something is happened in such and such place. See what I mean? So the order of 3 W's is just the way you feel it at the moment. Guys, you come to work, you write one bug report, but before lunch, you write same bug report differently, slightly differently. After lunch, you write that same bug, again, slightly differently. So your wife calls you and you write one bug report. So somebody else's wife calls you and you write it differently. So whatever impacts your mood, whatever impacts your energy level, motivation, you are tired or not, happy, unhappy. So it will all impact your bug reports because bug reports are a function of you. But as long as you are a good tester, your bug reports are always good. You cannot create a poor bug report. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, at least. Circumstances. So guys, it's 8 p.m. locally here. So we've done 7 bugs. We will do more. So our session number 3 will allow us to do more. Let's see what's going to be there. So the recording is going to be right here. Yeah. After I finish the processing. Session 3. Okay, mastering user interface bug reports. User interface, not functionality yet. We will talk about style and vocabulary of the bug report. And so what you do, you watch the pre-recorded webinar. You repeat those interview questions and answers, 13 out of 60 most frequently asked interview questions, guys, not bad. And you watch nice motivational video here, and you see more bug reporting rules. We will go over the bug reporting rules next time. So that is where we're gonna be. Actually, tomorrow, guys. You do not have that much time for your homework. Whatever you manage to do. Okay, there is nothing specific you must accomplish, but the more you do, the better, obviously. Any questions so far, guys? Let me see. Do we need to write at least 10 bug reports? The more the better. I can write 30 bug reports on Tolle. If you write 10, 12, 15, as many as you can. And you can also look at the bug reports written by other people. You don't know if they are bugs, because other people are also students. They might call something a bug, which is not a bug. They might write a bug report in such a way that you have no idea what they really wanted to say. So it helps to look at other people, what they are doing. What should we do by tomorrow? Yeah, that's homework for session 3. Homework for tomorrow is 2 videos and write bug reports. Correct? Yeah. Just go over bullet by bullet by bullet in the session 3. It's given to you in that bulleted way. Where to write at least 10 bug reports? On the forum. You have just one place, on the forum. Thank you. It was informative. Okay, guys, let me. I'm just thinking what I have to finish first. The webinar or the Calibri thing. Okay, let's finish the webinar first. Guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and I hope our volunteers will also take care of the Calibri thing. Okay, thank you very much, and it was a pleasure to entertain you today. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.